good stuff. Good, clean drinking water is important, right? In fact, our bodies are made mostly of water. Today we're going to be looking at a reverse osmosis machine that purifies our water. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. My channel is dedicated to reviewing mostly as seen on TV items. I look at some consumer gadgets, other household items. Once in a while I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like to. If that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. Oh yeah, one more thing. Don't forget to check down in the description for my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now, let's take a closer look at this reverse osmosis machine to see if it's any good. I want to give you a little background to this, okay? So not that long ago, I did a review of a reverse osmosis machine, and that was a machine that sits on top of your counter. You fill the basin with water, it pumps it through, and gives you a carafe of water at the end. It's a great machine. I use it every day. In fact, I use it so much, I'm getting ready to replace my filters this month. Well, that same company, Kflow, reached out to me asking me if I would review this product. It's a new product that they've released, and this one is actually, it's an under-the-cabinet contraption that hooks into your water line, and you have a little faucet on top of your sink. So this one's a little different than the other one. This one's hidden. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I live out in the country. I live in an old farmhouse, and I didn't have the ability to drill a hole in my kitchen sink. I have an old farmhouse type sink. I was not going to drill a hole through a 200-year-old sink, or however old that thing is. So I ended up putting it in my bathroom. And I thought, this is a good place to put it because this is where I brush my teeth and my son goes in there. So I ended up drilling a hole through my bathroom sink and setting everything up underneath the cabinet. And that's what we're going to walk through in this video. I will say the directions that came with this weren't very good. I had to do a lot of planning ahead in my own mind. And I did have some understanding of the system, and I've seen these kind of things before. So I used that background to install this. So let's get to installing our machine. Now I'm going to drill the hole for the faucet piece. Now, if you're doing this in your kitchen, you may already have a hole in the kitchen sink, so you just utilize what's there. I don't have anything here. I'm putting this in my bathroom, and so I'm actually going to drill a hole right about here. I do have this piece of trim I have to watch out for, so I'm going to drill it right about here, and then this, of course, will sit in through here just like this. It'll still look neat and finished, but just know I'm going to be drilling a hole through here. You don't necessarily have to do that if you're putting yours in your kitchen. I have my hole drilled. It's just the size I need, so this is just the cover. Now it's got a white plastic protected, but it's going to be silver, and so then realistically, I'll be able to just slide that down in there, and I'll have my faucet already. Let's talk installation. So the directions were not very clear, but I have a few pieces here. So I have a rubber gasket, I have a plastic washer, and I have this metal piece. So this is the order that I'm going to install. The washer, or the gasket here is going to the bottom, the plastic washer on the top, and that metal piece on top of there. Well, then I'm going to stick this through, right? It's going to go through my counter. On the other end, I'm going to attach this nut and screw it in together, okay? So once I get all that tightened, I have this piece right here. And all this piece does is it goes in here and snaps on. And I can just push up there and it snaps on. And that's how I connect my water line then on the other end. So let's go do all of that right now. I just wanted you to see that here before I actually install it. Here are the fittings that go with your Kflow reverse osmosis machine. So this is the fitting right here that you're supposed to connect this into your water line. You're supposed to turn your water off, hook this into your existing water line, hook it all back in, and then now you just have something in line. And it does have a quarter turn shutoff, which is really nice. This is good quality. It's pretty strong, probably metal or brass or so, just like other pieces. It does have some expanders or reducers depending on your specific setup. I'm actually going to do something a little different. Not that I don't mind those, but just something easier for me. I went and picked up one of these, and this is just a shark bite. And what this does is I can cut my existing copper line. Of course, I got to take these white pegs out. Those don't go in copper. So cut my existing copper line, slip it in real easy, and then connect my piping right to it. On the shark bites, all you do is you have this little brass piece that goes on. Of course, you have the nut that goes on first. And so, you just really slip them in like this, push this down, and then this will tighten in. Sometimes when you use piping like this, you actually have to use a sleeve. I tried to fit a sleeve in there, but I couldn't get it in, so it looks to me like this specific piece doesn't use a sleeve, but this is how I'm going to install my water line. And of course, I'm pretty particular about testing for leaks, so I'll make sure to know and test for that. But that's just how I'm going to set mine up. This is the pipe that we're going to be cutting. This is my cold water inlet. I'm actually going to cut this right here, and I've got just this cutting tool. And then I'm going to install my shark bite right in here just like this. So let me now start to cut this. And if you have never used one of these before, this just fits around the pipe. You tighten it down, and then you just spin around until it cuts. It creates a really even cut, and then it's a really easy snap together. I will clean this up a little bit, but then snap these together. As you can see, the pipe is now cut. I just cut it down in one place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my shark bite now and just install it. So my goal here is gonna be to push it in here first and then join the other side. It's really just that simple. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this so it's in the off position and go turn my water back on. The water is now turned back on, and I've tested the pipe all around the fitting to make sure there's no leaks. But I do want to mention a pro tip. You can see this green plate I have. I did that because even though I shut the water off and I let the lowest drain, there's still water in the lines, and so that just caught all the water so I don't deal with the mess around here. Now I'm going to install my pipe in from the water line and then hook it into the reverse osmosis machine. Here are the connectors for your Kflow reverse osmosis machine. The top one's going to be where your water gets fed into the machine. This is where it'll actually go to your waste, and so you're going to have to put this into your drain. And this one goes to your actual faucet. I have my power plug right here, which is where I plug that in. And I also have a wet sensor or a water sensor where it would shut the machine down. So these are just plugs that are in there, and you actually just have to push down this little piece and pop them out, okay? Because once those are out, you're able to then just feed your piping in when you're ready, and you just push it in there about an inch or so. That's what other machines do. I'm actually not sure just yet, so it might be less than an inch, and I'll let you know. But all you do is push this lever down, and you pop out the little pieces. It's a little hard to do it on the other side of a camera, but you get the idea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and officially install it down in my bathroom. So we talked about this earlier, but now it's time to hook this supply line in to the faucet above. And it comes with this little connector, and this is almost like a shark bite in and of itself. So this part of the tube goes in, and you just push in, and the other end connects right up into the bottom end of the faucet. So I'm going to do that right now. So tell me, what do you think of these reverse osmosis machines? Have you used them before? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Here's the back of the machine. We are completely installed. I will give you one recommendation. Make sure you push these pipes in as far as you can go. I had it in there like a ½ inch, and I could hear hissing noises and such, and I just pushed it a little further and it stopped. So then I have my drain line and I have my line going to my actual faucet. Down here I taped their water detection sensor, like if you have a leak. It says hook it to the cabinet. Now it does have 3M stickers. Unfortunately, mine didn't stick, so I just used some of the tape that was on the cabinet itself and put it there. I will say one thing I noted was this is the power cord. I think it's strange that it's right next to where the water goes in. So if you ever do have a leak, I don't know. That to me sounds like an interesting place. Maybe in a next generation they'll move that one. But so far so good. Now I'm going to show you how I drain my unit, or at least hook it to the drain pipe. Here I have the drain for my water filter. Now the directions recommend that you put it on like a down pipe coming down from the sink. The only problem is the space that I had, I couldn't actually get this fitting in there just because the downpipe wasn't that long. And so I had to find a different area. So I felt drilling through the top here was fine because the water is not full in here, right? It's only used for a drain. It's really close to the actual drain itself. And this fitting fits very tight. I will say a recommendation I would have is when you're putting this tube through here, I'd recommend going backwards. So don't hook it up to the machine yet. Go backwards up and just leave yourself, I got about a 1/2 inch in this tube because it was very difficult getting this to go down. It's something in there that's tight and it really clamped on that fitting in that pipe. But when I ran it the other way, it ran really smooth and I could just leave that fitting there. So just a recommendation. So I did drill a hole through the top here, filled it through and tightened it in. I've had this in here for a few days and I've run it a lot, not a drop. So I'm really impressed with that. Installation is complete. The directions tell us that once we get it all set up, we need to run it for about 20 minutes because it gets the nastiness out of the machine, I guess from any sediment in the machine itself. When we did our first review of the Kflow reverse osmosis water purifier, the first round of water was dark, black almost, and so I'd be interested to see what this is. Let's turn this on for the very first time. Air's coming out of the system. The machine underneath the sink is making some noise. I got nothing coming out just yet. I guess right now it's running through the machine, all the water. So what I'll do is oh, is it starting? Well, it's just spurting out right now. I'll bring it back. Oh, no, there we are. So this is now coming out the reverse osmosis purified water. Now, you're supposed to run this for 20 minutes before you actually use it. So I'm going to do that right now. We are right in the middle of flushing out the water, that 20-minute period that we were talking about, and I wanted you to be able to hear what I can hear. The machine is actually behind this cabinet door, and you can hear like a humming, a vibrating noise, and it's definitely noticeable. Let me open this door so you can hear it. And that's inside there, but when I close it, I can still hear it. I just wanted you to be aware of that. I did want to show you the inside of the unit where I have my 3 filters. Two of them are supposed to last up to a year, and the third one lasts up to 2 years. But there is an indicator on the front here that tells you when you need to replace them. But this is what they look like. They are different size than the previous Kflow that I reviewed, but I just wanted to show you the inside here. In this video, we've been looking at Kflow's new reverse osmosis machine, and this one has their it has a unit that goes underneath the sink, and all you see is the faucet on top, and it's pretty sleek. I really like the way it looks. To be honest with you, the proof is in the pudding, right? So prior to having this, regular water, there's not a chance in the world that I would drink it. And I have a filter here at my house. I live out in the country. I'm on a well. I have a filter. I wouldn't drink the water, okay? After running it through the machine, and this was ran through there, I actually drink it. And it tastes good. I don't know, one of the filters had something to do with the taste, but it tastes great. I like to drink it. I drink it every day. So I will say that. The installation was a little difficult. One, the directions weren't that clear, so I was able to work through it. So I hope this video, if you end up getting one of these, helps you through the installation process. 2, it took me about 90 minutes. I have a basic level of understanding of plumbing and such, but it took me about 90 minutes to go through a complete install. I think if I did this time and time again frequently, I can get it done quicker. Just know you might spend upwards to 2 hours installing this. In the end, though, it's really sleek. I like that it's thin and it slides right in there. I could still put things underneath the sink. I have bins under there, so they still fit. So I really like that it did not take up the entire area. If you're interested in one of these, I will leave a link down in the description. They sell for, I think it's under $250. They sell them on Amazon, so there'll be a link in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. So now let's test this water. I'm going to fill up 2 glasses. One of them is going to be from the faucet, and the other one is going to be from the RO faucet, or the reverse osmosis faucet. And then we're going to just do a quick TDS test to check the total dissolvable solids. I will say this one takes a lot longer to fill up just because there is no tank, right? It's actually collecting the water, filtering it immediately, so it doesn't hold anything in a tank. So it takes a little time to get going, and then definitely a lot more time to fill up. So let's do that now. See how it took just a little bit of time to get started? All right. Let's do this. We will test the RO one first. So I'm turning this on. And this is reading at 14. Okay, now let's test the water from the faucet. And it is 33. So there is a difference. It comes from the same source. The first one just was filtered, so that's pretty impressive. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the new Kflow reverse osmosis water purifier. You know, earlier in the video I talked about that little shark bite that I got. I purchased mine from Lowe's and it was about $22. I did find them on Amazon and they're the same price. Mine was a 1/2-inch water pipe and it comes out the 3/8 inch for the Kflow. If you're interested in that and you don't want to run to Lowe's, I will leave that link down in the description as well. You know what? During this video, I actually referenced my original Kflow reverse osmosis machine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that review right up here. And I would love it if you would click on this link. And by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe. I promise.